So let's build a display campaign. Again, pre-set up your display campaigns with your first going to audience manager, going to your custom audiences, build a custom audience that you'd like, stick that into one ad group, use DSK in one ad group, use topics in a different ad group. Again, it's going to be indicative of what you're wanting to run at the time. We do have a lot of campaigns that can scale really, really well when there's good profit margins that we never even needed to use DSK and YouTube, or we use it for very, 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 very small amounts, just as supplemental campaigns. But this is the masterclass. You're going to need to know how to do all this stuff. But again, I would say in the beginning, and even if up to like 100 grand a month, you may not even need to. You may not even need to run that. Now, if you have $5 profit margins, it's gonna be tough. Just like this company here, it is tough, but it can be done with the same exact structured setup that I'm showing you now. So we're gonna start a new campaign. In the new campaign for display, I like to run the sales because the display campaign here is gonna give you a good options here. It's usually gonna be working on maximize conversions or target ROAS or target CPA. Inside of the smart campaign, this is newer. I have had some small success, but what ends up happening with smart display, just like a smart search campaign, is heavily branded. If anybody's here has ever ran Google Ads Express or used a smart search campaign, what's interesting is a smart search campaign. What you'll notice is a lot of those searches are going to be brand. The display campaign is going to be a lot of people that are going to be having a DSK of your brand name. You might have good performance, but you might not be able to scale. You're not attacking new audiences. You're not attracting those new cold traffic. So that's the risk here. Higher ROAS, less expansive. If you run without a goal guidance, is it an issue? Do you always need to pick a goal? No. The problem is when you run without a goal guidance, depending on like YouTube, if you want to run shopping, you can't choose a goal guidance on YouTube shopping. If you want to run like a really cool kind of customized campaign on video, you have to choose without a goal guidance, because then you can do this custom video. So create your own settings with a customizable, skippable in ads, bumper ads, which are the 15 seconds, like non-skippable, or 6 seconds non-skippable, or video discovery ads, which is actually showing up on the search engine, which is Google. Again, I've had less luck with the best luck I always have is skippables, because I don't care where you are. I will find you if you're on YouTube with an ad.
Show Liam Neeson with you.
Exactly. I don't know who you are, but if you're watching cat videos, I will sell you hot sauce. So that's what's nice, is skippables are usually pretty good. Non-skippables, this is your entire message up to 15 seconds. You can't skip these. These are cool if you need to have the audience see your ad. The bad part about this is you don't get watch rates, because watch rates say, did they watch at least 30 seconds of your video or not skip it? That shows you engagement. 33% watch rates means, hey, 33% of the people that see this ad don't skip. With non-skippable, you get a 0% watch rate, which means, yeah, everyone saw it. Was it relevant? Who knows? They had to watch it. Outstream this is going to be more on the display network, and it's using only mobile devices. Outstream's good. Think of like Taboola and Outbrain kind of thing. They're going to be showing on other websites, and just going to be massive amount of advertising, like news channels and that kind of stuff. But you can do that anyway using display. Drive conversions. This is going to be using maximize conversion, maximize converted value with ROAS. Ad sequences. These are pretty cool. You can actually get to choose up to, I think, 3 or 4 different types. 4 different here, or a custom sequence. This is something that if you have more than one video that tells a story, these are good on YouTube. You can't use YouTube shopping. These means that they have to see one ad before they can move on to the next one. So as an example, they have to have watched at least 50% of the video before they can see the other video. Here's an example. If I had one video about one hot sauce brand or one hot sauce flavor, and I know I have 4 hot sauces, I might do this one. Use 4 short video ads, less than 30 seconds. And I'm going to show them, hey, here's my ghost pepper hot sauce, and this is working well with this recipe. Here's the chipotle hot sauce. This goes great on sandwiches. Here is the sriracha one. This one's good on eggs and pizza. And you can show them, oh, okay, like you can choose 4 different flavors and show 4 different flavors to one person. And once they watch the first video, they get to see the second. Once they watch the second video, they get to see the third. That's how these sequences work. You get to tell a story, or at least provide a variety. But again, it's not as good as the YouTube shopping because it doesn't use product feed, and it doesn't use the product page view. A lot of time it's going to be for just viewing. They get very, very little clicks. And then you get shopping, which we already did. This is the best one here. When you choose sales and video, you can't use any of those. So when you look at sales and display, you get to have these here, but on sales and display, you can choose target CPA, target ROAS, maximize conversions. So you see how you're stuck with these 3 bidding strategies: target CPA, target ROAS, maximize conversions. If you chose, cancel. If you choose campaign without a goal guidance and then display, and then choose standard, you get to have maximize clicks, viewable cost per milli, which means cost per 1,000 people that viewed, and then manual CPC. Yeah, thanks, Google. I mean, basically, if you choose the wrong goal guidance, you're stuck. And here's the really bad part, is if you choose sales and you are using maximize conversions or target CPA, and then you said, you know what, I really like to use manual CPC to see if I can start to get cheaper clicks and start to expand, you have to rebuild. You can't switch. You can't change it from target CPA to manual CPC. If you chose the lead one first, you have to rebuild the whole thing and you lose everything. I don't know why Google does that, but I think because it goes after a way different audience. So what you can do though is, I'll just hit cancel again. When you choose the plus symbol here and you use new campaign for display, we create without a goal guidance because it won't lock me into forever using 3 bidding strategies, and then use display. Set up a standard display. There's Gmail there. But pick on the standard display, and then you can go into here. And then I think, Michael, this is where you would be able to exclude Gmail. You just can't do that in Discovery. It'll say an error has occurred. So you can use that strategy here. Or perfect campaign name. This is going to be, I'm going to use a DSK one. You can use just display and then have DSK audiences. Again, in my opinion, though, start with DSK. It's the most relevant. It's taken an action by a person first. That action has to be in DSK. Google's past literature said 14 days. So in the last 14 days, did they search this keyword on YouTube or on Google, or did they visit a website that showed that keyword? Like if I'm reading a blog about the best hot sauces for ribs, DSK is like, aha, that keyword was there. In the last 14 days, that's been active. That's why I like DSK, is it's the last 14 days of human inactivity. Not who John is. I could care less what John is, who John is, but did John do something? That's the person I want to get in front of. Facebook is who is John. Google is what is John doing. That's how I like to usually differentiate the way that this works on Facebook versus Google. It's more expensive, but usually more relevant and active. DSK display, choosing your location settings. Again, display can go very far and wide everywhere. So choose this presence as normal and exclude the recommendations area. You need to use the language because this is going to go on other people's websites to make sure that your English speaking ad is on an English speaking website. On display in the beginning, it depends. I like to start with maximize conversions. If your industry is really competitive, maximize conversions might get you very high CPCs. And if you have a smaller budget and you're starting out, use manual CPC. Don't use, in my opinion, viewable CPM. This one is high impressions, very low clicks, which is usually very inexpensive traffic, not very competitive traffic, usually low interest traffic. So viewable CPM is I have $1 million and I just need everyone to see a commercial. Maximize conversions is going to go, it's going to work really well for intent. Maximize clicks is more of like viewable CPM, low price, low quality. Here's a good rule of thumb on display. The higher the cost per click, the more relevant that audience is. Cheap traffic doesn't necessarily mean engaged traffic. That doesn't mean that your smart shopping campaign is going to benefit it. And here's where this gets really, really tricky. Smart shopping is going to remarket everywhere. It's going to remarket to all of your Facebook and Instagram traffic too. It's going to remarket to all of your organic traffic. If I use a viewable CPM model and I send 1,000 users to my site who are kind of not really engaged, smart shopping is going to spend money trying to bring those people back. So you can actually hurt your smart shopping campaign by sending it junk traffic to remarket, which is why I usually like to go after the maximized conversions. It's a saturation play. It bids fairly high, but it goes after the most intent-driven users. And when it can find repeatability, it's going to bid even more. It's going to be expensive. Again, why I'd say expansive campaign, but it is performing the best because this is the audience that is going to best benefit my smart shopping campaign. Next, budget. Again, on display, spend at least 30 if you can. The higher the better. Additional settings, ad rotation. This is something I always use as a default, unless you just have to have an A/B test, then you can rotate ads indefinitely. But again, there's a warning symbol pulls up and it's actually pretty true. Optimize prefer best performing ads. Think about like if you have Facebook advertising experience, think of all these ads in an ad set. The cream's going to rise to the top. The one that gets the best impressions or most impressions, best click through rate, the best cost per click, yada, 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 is going to be the winner. Usually that's just going to help optimize. And then conversions as well. Schedule, run it all day unless you're running like an old phone call campaign. But again, don't do that. Run an ad schedule 24/7. Start date, end date. Again, devices. Here is the option where you don't get to include TVs because it's on display. So showing all devices. Campaign URL options if you want to. Dynamic ads. This is interesting. You can use a feed for outbound display. Again, higher budgets though are going to work even better on this. That means it's a little bit sometimes further down the road. If you wanted to use a feed for a display campaign, you can, but this is going to go through all of your SKUs. And if you have 100 SKUs, imagine this like 100 keywords now. Those hundreds are going to say, well, after 100 clicks on this product, after 100 clicks on that product, after 100 clicks on this product, after 100 clicks on that product, you can't do that with $30 a day. So lower budgets, I like to not use a feed. Higher budgets, I like to use a feed because you're going to have, and then the more SKUs that they have, the longer and the more money you need. If you have 6 SKUs, you can test this. If you have more than 10 SKUs and less than $100 a day, don't use a feed because it's gonna need to have a lot of ads being clicked on a lot of products to see, okay, which products start to get performance. Any questions there? I want to make sure that that doesn't pop up in the chat later because I didn't take enough time to explain it. Does that make sense on how that works? A dynamic ad will actually use a feed inside of display and will build a display ads very similar to smart shopping, which already is doing that. It's just going to be more beneficial at higher spends because where smart shopping can take inbound with search, inbound with display select. It can show it on a shopping catalog, or sorry, shopping campaign on the shopping network. Has a lot more capabilities to earn the data faster than display can. Single product strategy. Don't use a dynamic. I'm assuming. Yep. Go ahead. Cos.
I was going to read Michael's question. It's my one job.
Is that a scenario where multiple feeds can be beneficial? Yeah, you can use a filter too. So you can have one feed and you can filter out per campaign per feed. Sorry, per filter. So if you said, yes, I'd like to use this one feed, but I'd only want to have, filters that is matching IMIDs. So saying like, hey, this is 10 products in this one campaign. This is another 15 products in this campaign. Again, you can set up multiple campaigns per daily spend, per ROAS goals, per budgeting. So again, that's the weird part is I never really ran into a scenario where I would use a different feed, I guess. And maybe that's just me not knowing. I might not know how to utilize it the best way. So I just haven't had an issue with it. I've always either filtered them out or selected my YouTube shopping campaigns for these particular items. Usually one feed has everything in one. Oh yeah, I forgot you can filter them like that. Yeah, and so that's the kind of thing is like you always are able to import everything and then just pick what you need. Conversions, again, I'm only using this conversion, so it just defaults to that one, which is good. If you're running a display campaign for a coupon code, make sure you're tracking those conversions as well. We already touched upon content exclusions. Really nothing there that's inside of display that I wouldn't already use for YouTube. Ad group name, again, DSK ad group. You'll have a DSK ad group if you want to run for placements, want to run for topics. Each ad group you add, imagine increasing the budget, because you're going to have one possible ad group that might suck up all the ad spend, and you almost need to max out that ad group before you move on to the next one. On display, you need to have a huge budget to max out DSK, but 1 to 5 billion weekly impressions, you need to max that out before topics become a focus. So just know that if you want to use it, separate those campaigns. Don't separate them just by ad group. You'll have one ad group that just always wins. Audiences. If you built your custom audiences, you can go into browse, go into your custom audiences. There's your hot sauce custom audience. That would be how you would add a custom audience. If you don't want to use that because this is going to be your, oops, I already selected that. If you don't want to use that because this is your DSK campaign, you're going to skip audiences, maybe skip demographics if it's applicable. Content targeting, this is where you put your DSK here. Click on content targeting, add keywords or topics or placements. Don't do all of them or any 2 of them, because it will just limit the amount of exposure. Use keywords, put your DSK keyword here, hot sauce. Target keyword. Target expansion. This is the one I have seen work a little bit well on display, even with really expensive keyword strategies. We've had target expansion seldomly work. Normally it's a good default just to turn it off and focus on just your keywords. But I think like hot pepper hot sauce, I think goes from like a DSA campaign. I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't even know that was a keyword. Who searches for hot pepper hot sauce? I thought it'd be hot pepper sauce or hot sauce. But again, you can test this if you want to, just knowing that your target expansion, there might be more traffic here than what is in your targeted keywords, and your target keywords may not run or get very, very limited. It's like, okay, I had 1,000 clicks, 10 to my target keywords, 990 to expansion. Well, that didn't tell you much. So my opinion is always focus on what you know first. If you just say, hey, we're just low search volume for all of these keywords and I'm just not getting anything, then you can try turning on target expansion. First, I would try checking your keywords, make sure that they're at least broad and relevant. But if you just have odd products that don't have a lot of search for DSK, then you can turn on target expansion. Test it without it first, though. Did you say you use DSK on display like this to enter competitors' names as keywords to target them on display network? I'll show you. That's the one little ninja trick that I'm going to have at the end. That's going to cover discovery, DSK, discovery, display, and YouTube. And it's going to be a custom audience, and I'm going to share that with you. It actually won Qasim the Wicked Smart contest at Digital Marketer with this trick, so it'll be cool. Oh, there it is. Yep, Wicked Smart, November 2020. So that was we won an award for this trick that we kind of accidentally stumbled upon. So target expansion, use it with it off in the beginning. Now we're going to be building out the ad. This here for your final URL is going to be what your ad says. If your ad is going to be about a very particular product, send it to that URL. If the ad is going to be more brandable, like if you have multiple images, maybe send them to your collections page or your all products page. Try to make it easy. A lot of traffic on display is mobile. So as an example, if I go, I'm going to click on my own ad, and I see shop all here, I would spend display traffic here to the collections all. Because now if I'm on mobile, as soon as I click on that display ad, I'm going to go here. Oh, wow, there's a bunch of choices here. This looks great. If I send them to the home page, they're going to say, try now. Okay, I didn't really want that one. Let me go back. Is there anything else? Okay, well then now I get a little bit less viewership. So I would say go to the pages that offers them the most amount of choices, because this is really easy to find the one that I like. I love Serrano. I'll order a 3-pack. So make sure that you're choosing the correct page if you're going to use multiple product images, which I usually would recommend. Going broad helps Google maximize on what's working. What keyword has the best function? Hot sauces, and going to a page, a bunch of hot sauces and a bunch of varieties, so that person A chooses product A, person B chooses product D, person C chooses product F. You get a lot of variations there. The more hyper specific you get, the less you've given a mobile user with a half attention span to find what they're looking for. Images and logos. Again, scan your page, use the most relevant ones. You can scan your Twitter and your Facebook and your Instagram and your LinkedIn if you wanted to. If you scan Facebook, again, sometimes they're not really relevant product image, but they're good brandable images. I'm going to scan it and see what happens. This happens autonomously too, which is great. But if you find your images, there's these here. I want to have at least the brand names, and they could look like bottles. My logo. I'm going to use a different one for my logo, actually. So I'm only going to select these two here, select these two ratios. Yeah, I'll have, this is one of my best performing one, the ghost pepper. I have a ghost pepper keyword. This is relevant. Choose obviously your proper images. In videos, you can use any YouTube video you want. Again, just like YouTube. Where these show is on the display network, and it's going to be, they used to say 29.99 seconds is the max. Now you can actually go longer. Just know that the 30-second videos or less are still, they get a better watch rate, and Google prefers that, so they show those more often. So 30-second videos or less on the display network. YouTube doesn't matter. I have 6, 7, 8-minute videos that perform really well on YouTube because it's targeting that's doing the work, not the video itself. I guess that's a good lesson. Targeting is more important than content in Google land, which is interesting, because if you're really, really interested, you'll watch a 6-minute video if it's perfect for you. But if you're just halfway interested in a 30-second video, it's going to be less effective than your brand advocates that'll watch a 6-minute video. So here you can use any video. Here's the caveat. They're going to autoplay and they're going to play on mute. Autoplay and they play on mute. If you watch your video 10 seconds in on mute and you're like, I have no idea what's going on, no one else is going to either, but you're going to pay for that. So again, use your videos logically and sparingly. Headlines, same thing here. Products is not relevant. That was a bad one for Google to recommend. Products is not good here. Headlines, yeah, maybe if you want a branded headline, you might say, I'm just going to use a horrible John Moran, can't write ad copy. Title, best hot sauce. Make it relevant. It needs to be relevant. If you look at the Google property on YouTube, best hot sauces. Okay, this is not Yellowbird. I can see the Yellowbird in the ad, but I'm not brand loyal. I'm product loyal. I don't care who you are. I want a ghost pepper sauce. Make your images and your headlines relevant enough, but expansive enough that someone that, like as an example right here, this is a great example of this. It won't blow up very well, I'm sorry. But best hot sauces, sriracha, serrano, habanero, ghost pepper. If I love serrano, I might click on this ad. But if I had only a sriracha and said best sriracha and I really like serrano, I might not click on it. Offering choices helps Google learn. So sometimes only use the headline that can stand on the best hot sauces, award-winning hot sauce, over 20 hot sauces available. Those all stand on their own to variety. Long headline, again, you can use, very good expansion. Sometimes a brand description works really well here. The best hot sauces in the world. Been in business over 25 years. Free shipping available. Yada yada yada. So this also needs to stand on its own. Just going to put a filter in for now so I can move forward. Description. Discover a delicious variety of delicious flavor. Shop online. Cool. That works just for now. Business name. This one, I actually like to put a URL here, but use title case URL. So as an example, cool. I'm just going to go and click click on here. Here's what I mean like this. If I use this URL, it's not going to make sense and it's actually going to be too long. But if I said what you'll notice is if I use a URL and I make a title case, look at the title here. That's now brandable. Not Yellowbird sauces, because you might search for Yellowbird sauces, but this is going to be the best way. Hey, yellowbirdfoods.com is the one that sent this to you. It gives you a little bit of a brand recognition. Yellowbirdfoods.com. I know it's small. I'm sorry, guys. Yellowbirdfoods.com. I like to use my business name as the URL. So if ever someone wanted to say, like, what was the company? Oh, yellowbirdfoods.com. Okay. That's where they're going to try to search for that. Good for direct traffic, good for organic traffic. Additional image formats. We talked about these. Let me see if I can get a good one. It won't give you the preview. Let's see here. So it's in key ad formats. They are not giving me my video example. They used to give you a video example and it would actually show you how that turns into a video. It's really, really cool. Anyway, so yep, you can use auto-generated video, let Google create your videos, let Google enhance your asset by optimizing your ad layouts. This basically makes it gives it more options to choose a layout that may not be kind of static. It acts more like a responsive display, even though this is a responsive display. This gives you the ability to turn this ad into different versions of the ad using only possibly one headline and no description or no long description, which is important for it to make sure that the headlines can stand on their own. We talked about native formatting. Let's see. 1 logo and 3 landscapes. Cool. Let me do this here. Let me see if I can create any more out of this. There's 3 landscapes. 1, 2, 3. And then this will be my logo for right now. Oh, failed to load the image. Can I use this one as a logo? No, failed to load the image. Let's see. This will obviously I'll just use the logo as a logo, John. That's smart. There we go. Let me see if this will pop up now. Yay! So check this out. There we go. Google's having a tough time. Hold on one second. Let me see if this will. So it's not giving me the right preview. This should be my product in here is just for whatever reason having an issue, and you can see it kind of glitching out right here. Anyway, this turns it into a video ad. Where other websites and Discover shows, if it shows a video version, this will actually show a video of your ad. And it'll cycle through your images here. It'll have your logo, it'll have your 3 landscape images, it'll take your headlines and descriptions and place it here. Let's create the campaign. Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot the setting here. So normally when you use custom audiences, this will be defaulted to custom. When you use DSK, you have to say content. So only show ads on web pages, apps, and videos related to these keywords. That's exactly what display is, which is fine. Audiences are going to show in your custom audiences. Again, DSK is usually better than custom audiences because it's a little bit more relevant.